You're watching iRacing on the Ghostfire Media Network.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's AOLL Sportsman broadcast of Mid-Ohio. Final race of the regular season, being brought to you here by the Ghostfire Media Network. I'm Carl Henderson, and I think we're going to have one heck of a race tonight. Let's very quickly go over our race info. This is a interesting track, being that it is a road course, and a road course that isn't very often run with stock cars. So I think you're going to see a lot of guys out there not very familiar with it. We were just run this last week, and unfortunately iRacing was having issues, and so a lot of guys ran it as a bit of a practice race, myself included, and it's a challenging track, so I am hopeful we're going to have a good race here, but I think we might see some drama, being that it is the final race before we start cutting drivers off to get into the chase, carrying over to the top 18. You get guys on the bubble there who will surely be trying to point their way in, but it also wouldn't surprise me to see some guys who are, unlikely to get in on points, maybe try to go for it, do something crazy strategy-wise, and we'll have to see. I'm really excited to see this one. So with that note, let's actually go ahead and cut over here to our first drivers qualifying, and let's go over to Justin Anderson, who is just starting his first qualifying lap. And I'm going to cut back to the blimp view so you guys can get a better view of the track here. And, we're going into this turn 2 right here, which is this really tight hairpin turn. Honestly, not a very tricky turn, to be honest, at least in my experience. Very clear. You get some good brake markers. But the one we're coming up on in just a little bit is the one that was tricky for me, and I saw a lot of guys struggling with it. This right here. It is very easy to go off into the grass there, and unlike a lot of tracks, I feel like it doesn't punish you too hard. There isn't, you have quite a bit of runoff, but you can definitely lose some time there, and saw a lot of guys going off track right there. And, this is a course that has a lot of speed in it. It has a lot of turns. We see Justin Anderson get a little loose there on corner exit. But there are some large sweeping corners, along with some corners that require some braking. And we've got just this one corner here. We've got pit road entrance right there. And then he's going to take this left-hander, kind of a sweeping turn down the front stretch and cross the start-finish line for his first lap. And that put him on the board with a 128. Currently sitting at top of the board. Let's actually see if we can pull up our tower here. Let you guys take a look, see where guys are as they are qualifying. Let's switch over to somebody else. How about John Gordon? And that was just playing tricks on me. I thought for a second there perhaps it was open qualifying because it looked like the camera just sort of transitioned over to him. But it is not. We are single car qualifying as we normally do. So this is John Gordon right now on his second lap. Currently sitting 7th on the board with a 1:33. Respectable time there. Nothing to be ashamed of with that time. So we'll see if he can improve on it here with his second lap. As we see a lot of guys here who have completed laps all at the same time. And Blake Gordon, who is someone we know is a great road course racer, currently sitting in second, which is not a position we're familiar with Blake being in at a road course. I think we've heard Justin Anderson over and over say again, he's not that great at road courses and things like that, but I think he's great. I mean, this is kind of proof of it right here. You talk about Blake Gordon, Dan Shirley, both great road course racers, and I'm so glad we were focusing on Blake there. That was exceptional. I'm not quite sure what happened. Wow. Okay. So Blake Gordon has issues on his second lap, and let's take a look at Dan Shirley here as he's finishing up his second lap. Gonna see if he can put together a faster lap here. He is trying to take over the number 1 spot from his teammate Justin Anderson. See him wheeling it in there, and that is not going to be enough. Well, hold on. Did we cross start? Yeah, we crossed the start-finish line already. So, yeah, not enough there for him. It was a faster lap, but that was a 1:29.67. Not gonna do it for him. And we see Blake Ziti here. Well, we're supposed to see Blake Ziti. Here we go. He just finished his second lap, and that is a faster lap for him. He's currently sitting in 7th. And how about we click over to Joe Dinsmore here, wrapping up his second lap. He is currently sitting 6th on the board. Let's see if he can improve on that 1:29.85. He's coming around the final corner here. And we'll cross the start-finish line, and that is an improvement. That moves him up to 3rd, bumping down his teammate, Dan Shirley. All right, how about we kick over to David DeParis, currently on the track, doing his first timed lap. I think he timed it because he wanted to be the only person out there. A little bit of an issue there for him. I would not expect this first lap to be very fast for him due to that, but, always has a second lap, as long as he can get it done in time, which he should be able to at this point. And I see we have a comment from Justin Anderson wishing us to have a great broadcast and said it's great to hear my voice. I appreciate that, Justin. Looking forward to watching you race and see if you can hold off Blake and your teammate there. I'll tell you what, I love road courses because I feel like every time we come into it, there's always like someone that's, you get your guys that are favorites at road courses, and then it feels like there's someone that always, messes with everything, I very much believe that Justin Anderson can win this race tonight. And someone I want to point out who had, I know it wasn't an official race, but in our race we ran here last week that, was not ran as a scheduled race due to iRacing issues, William Klingbill led a lot of laps, had a really great race. So we'll see if William Klingbill can do anything tonight. I think he certainly has a shot as well. He's qualified 8th, which is not fantastic, but this is this is the type of course where you can very easily, you're not going to easily pass people necessarily here, but you can definitely wait for them to make mistakes, and people are going to make mistakes. Even the guys who are, as we see David DeParis have some issues there, But some guys are going to have issues. I mean, even the guys who, are good here are going to have issues. So, yeah, I think patience is the name of the game here. And I know patience is going to be tough. You got, we talk about the top 18. But I look at someone like John Gordon sitting there in 20th. He is currently 24 points back from 18th place. But both of those guys are not in the race tonight. So John Gordon has with the provisionals, he probably won't get in with that. But we'll have to see. I mean, I would say, John's one of those guys that might be going for it here. Seeing what he can do to get into the chase. All right, well, we have qualifying wrapping up here. And we have about 5 seconds before we start gridding up here. All right, and qualifying is over. Waiting for it to let me click over to... There we go. All right. So how about we go through our starting grid? In first place, we have Justin Anderson. And in second, we have Blake Gordon. In third, Joe Dinsmore. And in fourth, Dan Shirley. Fifth is Kevin Moeller. And sixth is Teddy Weichel. Seventh is Blake Ziti. Eighth is William Klingbeil. Ninth is Brian McFerrin. And in 10th, Tony Pandon. 11th is Josh Laston. And in 12th, Kevin Haas. 13th, Brandon Bernhardt. And in 14th, John Gordon. 15th, we have Derek Schilling. And in 16th, Timothy St. Jean. 17th, we have David Naughton. And in 18th, David DeParis. In 19th, we have Mike Burgess. And I think that is going to round out our field there. So, if I'm not mistaken here, let me actually cut to our blimp view, see where we're at on the track. Yeah, this is going to be a short pace lap, thankfully. They are not going to go around the entire course, I do not believe. So we'll be getting started here real soon. See if I'm able to pull up a track map. We've been having issues with that recently. There we go. We'll see if that'll work this time. We'll have to wait and see. Like I said, we've had issues with that recently. And we see the pace car is peeling off. And we're about to go green flag racing here. And green flag is out already. So here we go. Already Blake Gordon making an aggressive move, but he's going to be on the outside. That's the non-preferred position in that corner. And Justin Anderson is able to hold on to first there. And as they're coming into this hairpin turn, turn 2, people are just sort of, oh, we've got some trouble back there. That is John Gordon. Really unfortunate for him there. Let's see if we can take a look and see what happened there. So there's John to the left of your screen there. Oh, it looks like he just possibly locked up his rear. Let's actually rewind that and switch over to our blimp view. Let's actually try. Yeah, okay. So, unfortunate that also collected Kevin Haas there. So tough start for them, but not a tough start for Justin Anderson, Blake Gordon, Dan Shirley. Dan Shirley moved up a spot, taking third place from his teammate Joe Dinsmore. But we've seen that a lot with Joe, where he's patient. I mean, he's not going to be in a huge rush. And I apologize. I also realized we did not have the ticker pulled up here, so I'm going to get it pulled up for you guys, so we can see where all of our drivers are at on the track right now. But I'll tell you what, Justin Anderson right now looking real strong. Him and Blake Gordon, kind of a two-car pull away right now, and but Justin is holding Blake Gordon off. I mean, this is not a situation where it's like, well, Blake's clearly faster, because Justin Anderson is looking really strong right now. Let's go back a little bit here. Take a look at Joe Dinsmore, who is, as I mentioned earlier, was passed by his teammate of Dan Shirley, but Joe's kind of stalking. I mean, he's not giving up on this, and yeah, I think you know, Joe's going to be conservative, especially early in a race. He's not going to push things. And let's go ahead and see here who we can look at. How about Josh Laston? Josh Laston is a guy here who I know is really good at road courses, but has not had a lot of success at road courses in the Sportsman Series. I'm not sure if it's just something with the trucks or what, but you know, has not had the kind of success you would expect from him in these trucks. But currently running 11th, trying to track down Brian McFerrin in front of him, while Brandon Bernhardt right there behind him. And how about John Gordon? You know, had that issue there right at the beginning, and he's trying to regain some of those positions he lost earlier, trying to pass Mike Burgess here. That is for 15th place. So we'll see. Oh, Mike Burgess has an issue there and hands the position over to John Gordon, and Kevin Haas is going to capitalize on it as well. Let's cut back to our leader. Justin Anderson still leading this race. But again, Blake Gordon right there behind him. You know, you have to wonder, is Blake just sitting there waiting for him to make a mistake? Or is Blake going to start getting more aggressive at some point? We see there Blake's, you know, all over him right now. You know, I think at this point patience is the name of the game, but I also know, having raced with him, Blake Gordon is not a terribly patient person. So I think at some point he's going to want to get up front and start leading this race. But I'm not sure he's the fastest car in the field tonight. So we'll have to see if he's able to even do that. We'll cut back here to Teddy Weichel, newcomer to the league, has run a few races with us so far. Just set the previous lap, set the fastest lap of the race. So this is a guy who has a lot of speed right now, currently running in 5th and trying to track down Joe Dinsmore. Go just a little bit further back. Got Blake Ziti there battling with Kevin Moeller. William Cleanbill there as well, and Cleanbill is trying to make a move, and not far behind him is Tony Pandon. So we got some really good racing through the field right now. I wasn't necessarily expecting that at this track, but we've kind of got a few separate packs. It looks like the 15 has had some issues. Oh, sorry, that was 15th place. I apologize. Perhaps David DeParis, I think, maybe had some sort of issue. He did not cause an incident there, but his truck's not looking great. So going to assume that's who it was. I think Mike Burgess may have also had some issues. But as I mentioned earlier, it's a tough track, so that's not surprising at all. But you know, I was talking about fast lap times. Blake Gordon, really fast right now. Last lap, he was the fastest vehicle in the field. We're gonna have to see as they're coming around here about to finish lap 4 here, and see if he can set a fast lap again. I would say probably not, because it looks like he's lost some ground. Yeah, that was quite a bit slower for Blake, and I'm wondering if he has either burned up his stuff a little bit, or if he's trying to conserve a little bit more now to prevent that from happening. And I was talking about, there's a lot of racing throughout the field, but at the same time, there have not been a lot of passes for position so far. Oh, we have an issue here. That is Mike Burgess. Let's see if we can see what happened here. Oh, that's, well, oh, yep. I've done that before. Get a little ambitious on that corner entry, and Could have also been, braking a little bit and got the rear end a little loose. And no worse for the wear, though, it looks like. He's able to get back out on track, so good for him. Oh, and we cut live, and it looks like he had another issue. Sorry about that, Mike. I don't want to focus on you having issues, so we'll cut back to the leaders here. Yeah, and, we saw Dan Shirley getting some pressure from his teammate Joe Dinsmore earlier, and that is no longer happening as Dinsmore is falling back, a little bit of a sizable gap. And right now, just looking at lap times, Teddy Weichel is making up ground on Joe Dinsmore right now. So we'll have to see, if Joe's just doesn't have a great feel for this track, or if perhaps he's just conserving a little bit, as we've seen him do so many times before. And we did see Mike Burgess had another little bit of an issue there. I'm going to try to avoid continuing to call him out, but he is in front of the leaders now, so that's something we're going to have to keep an eye on and see. If he has an issue again, it could potentially cause some issues for the leaders. So hoping his race is going to start going better for him. I know how those races go where it feels like nothing is going right, and it looks like David DeParis had some issues and jumped to the pits, took a tow. Oftentimes the right move, because you don't want to be sitting out in the middle of the track blocking traffic. So David DeParis takes a tow. He'll be sitting in the pits for a little while. And we also see David Naughton had a small issue there. I think he is... Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. I just run off track a little bit. No worries there. But I'll tell you what, I mean, Blake Gordon right there on Justin Anderson's bumper again. This race is something right here. Oftentimes on road courses, we've got one guy who will pull away and just sort of dominate the race, but that is not happening here today. I mean, these two guys are going at it. You have to be thinking. I'm going to pull up the standings here. Look at the point differential between these two guys. Blake Gordon currently has the points lead in the Truck Series, in the Sportsman Series here. Justin Anderson about 77 points behind him, so unlikely to make up any ground here to win the regular season championship. But I mean, there is the fact that wins get you bonus points for the chase. So both these guys still want to win, even though they are solidly into the chase. So yeah, I think you're going to see a good battle between these guys. And I see Dave Wright left us a comment. Appreciate that. Said sounding awesome as usual. So we do what we can here on the GFM network. And Johnny Downey called out Blake being back, and I think we're all very excited about that. Love seeing Blake race. And Blake was actually complaining about Mid-Ohio earlier today on one of our Discord channels. And if he loses this race to Justin Anderson, he might complain about it a little more. But if he wins, I'm curious to hear if he will change his tune at all. If we have him post-race, we'll have to ask him. So let's cut back here. This race right here, William Klingbeil. Let's try getting a better camera here. He is currently trying to take 7th position. Other than our leaders, that is our closest battle on track right now. So guys, cut the blimp view to possibly get a good view of that battle. But guys are spreading out a little bit right now. It's going to happen. And I did just see Justin Anderson for a second pulled away a little bit from Blake Gordon. Not sure if there were any issues there for Blake potentially, but Justin stretched out the 0.3 second lead he had to like 0.5 for just momentarily, and but we are right back to a much tighter battle. Gonna see if I can actually, let's take a look, see if we can pull up our sector view here, and see if there's any area where, Blake is faster than Justin Anderson. We see he is in the first sector of the track, the first half, and sector 4 there. Both big gains for Blake Gordon. But Justin Anderson, that middle part of the track, that's where he's winning right now. So let's see this lap here if that's going to continue. We see Blake Gordon has a slight advantage through sector 1. We'll see sector 2. I have to think, I've seen this time and time again on that after that hairpin turn. Justin Anderson's getting such a good launch and getting so much speed for that long straightaway. But Blake made up ground there as well. I'm not sure if Blake Gordon realized I pulled up this battle telemetry as he's sticking his nose in there. Blake Gordon is ready to try to take this lead away. But you have to time that jump. You have to time when you're going to try to make that move, because if you put yourself in the wrong position and try to make a move in one corner, you might set yourself up poorly for the next. So a road course is a lot like a chess match. You have to plan those moves in advance. But we see there Blake Gordon trying to make that move. Did lose some time there in sector 3, which is not surprising. But we'll see if he can make it up here in sector 4. I think he is aggressive right now. He is trying everything he can to try to take that position. Yeah, he made us some significant ground that time. Blake Gordon is trying to take over the lead of this race, and at this point, it seems like he is faster than Justin Anderson. As you're going to see, so we can look at our lap times. Yeah, I mean, that's not surprising. Blake's been faster for most of the laps. I feel like Justin had a little bit of an advantage early on, but Blake Gordon currently is the fastest guy on track. Well, while we have a small moment here, how about we go side by side and hear from one of our sponsors, Guitar Addict.
For 20 years, the Guitar Addict has been your home for used and vintage guitars in the Daytona Beach area and at GuitarAddict.com. The Guitar Addict is your home for used and vintage guitars. Whether you're looking for that collector's piece or that beginner piece, they've got you covered. With names like Fender, Gibson, Gretsch, Ibanez, Martin, Taylor, and much, much more, the Guitar Addict has all the guitars you need. And bass players, they haven't forgot about you. They've got all the top names. Amplifiers from Friedman, Victoria, Fender, Boss, and many, many more. They also have the largest selection of used pedals anywhere in the Southeast. The Guitar Addict, located at 1672.5 Ridgewood Avenue, just north of Flomish in Holly Hill, Florida. Also, check us out online at GuitarAddict.com.
All right, while we were on break there, our competition caution came out. So pace car is out on the track. Going to bring all these guys back together, and then I would imagine everyone's going to pit. I have a hard time imagining that they wouldn't. When I look at lap times, almost everyone is really significant. I mean, I guess at the end of that last lap, the caution did come out, so it's probably not accurate. But still, they had lost a second or two on their lap times, so I would imagine everyone has to pit here. I do wonder, though, if someone sitting outside that chase bubble might try to go for it. I think it's an awful decision. I don't think it'll work out for them, but I'm not sure what's happening to Blake right there. Blake's truck shaking. Perhaps he's excited about pit stops. I'm not sure. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised potentially someone goes for it. Again, I think it's a bad idea. And when I say goes for it, I mean stays out. I think it's a bad idea. But it stays out or takes fuel only, I should say. But you know, I mean, sometimes if you're you know out on the outside looking in, you might just try something and see if it works, and that could cause trouble for these guys up front if that does happen. So we'll have to wait and see here, see if anybody decides to do something a little crazy. We got a message there from Joshua Mays. Joshua Mays watching tonight. Appreciate you watching, buddy. We would much rather have all of our AOL guys out on track, but if you're not out here, also great to have you watching. And looks like Justin Anderson may have had some issues there on the pits. Oh, and Kevin Haas potentially with some issues. But we'll stay focused on these guys here. I am going to switch over to our blimp camera so we can get a good look at this battle off pit road. Just eyeballing it, it honestly looks like Blake Gordon has a better position in his pit box, which would lead you to believe potentially that he's going to get off faster, but no. Justin Anderson with a great pit stop, and he's off, still hanging on to the lead, and looks like our top 5 did not change at all on that pit cycle. So you've got the 86 car of David DeParis pulled off to the side there. So now the big storyline has to be guys have fresh tires. You know, this is something anybody that's listened to one of my broadcasts has probably heard me say ad nauseum at this point. Sure, you started the race with fresh tires. It was great, whatever. But then you got out there and you ran a lot of laps, and those tires, you know, got older. The way your car felt slowly changed. And now it didn't slowly change, it's changed drastically. It's snapped back to what it was at the beginning of the race. So, you know, will these guys make mistakes? We see some issues there, guys going through the grass. Man, I am not sure what happened there. There were a lot of guys that went through the grass. I am actually going to, let's take a look. Find the first person that went off track and rewind and see if we can take a look. So we got Kevin Moeller here we're focusing on. Kevin Moeller went off. Oh yeah, I think they just blew it. I take back everything positive I said about Josh Lasted on road courses. Just kidding, Josh. So yeah, some issues for some guys back there, but no real incident. As we are going to go around one more time, I really wish that a short caution cycle was an option here, so that we didn't have to you know, do a couple full pace laps. Oh, I apologize, folks. I am having some issues here. We appear to have lost the race connection. I am not sure what happened there. Let me try resetting that. Again, apologies, folks.
You're watching iRacing on the Ghostfire Media Network.
All right, I'm just waiting on iRacing to start back up here. I am not sure if I had an issue there or if that was something on iRacing's end. So we'll have to wait and see if it will start for us here and bring us back up. Again, I do apologize for that, folks. So in the meantime, while we're here, you know, hopefully we'll get it started back up before we go green flag again. I think we're pushing it, but we've seen a race here that was dominated so far by Justin Anderson, but Blake Gordon's been on his bumper the entire time. So we're gonna have to see. I expected Blake, possibly would have been able to get something there on pit road, but Justin Anderson there with a flawless pit stop. So, Blake's gonna have to pass him on the track, and we still got a lot of racing ahead of us. So we'll see if he's able to do that. But Justin Anderson has looked incredible tonight. I think if I were to have a winner's pick right now, he'd be the guy for me. So we are waiting on it to connect here again. All right, well, it looks like we are back up and running. Again, apologies for that, folks. But I believe it has just gone green, so we didn't miss a whole lot. So we have Justin Anderson in our lead, followed by Blake Gordon. Dan Shirley in third, Joe Dinsmore in fourth. Teddy Weichel must have had some issues on the restart. He drops to seventh as Blake Ziti and Kevin Moeller move up to the fifth and sixth spot. So a little bit of a shake-up there. And, right now we're seeing a lot of what we saw at the beginning of the race. Justin Anderson sort of pulling away here, putting a sizable gap between him and Mr. Blake Gordon. But you have to wonder with Blake Gordon was making up a lot of ground there at the end of that run before the competition caution. And we're going to have a longer green flag run here, with no cautions. So will that kind of differential make a bigger difference this run? Or will Justin Anderson be able to conserve a little bit more? And I just see Justin Anderson set the fastest lap of the race that lap. His truck is feeling really good right now for him. So let's try. I'm trying to find a good battle here. How about Mr. Joe Dinsmore here? Once again, riding behind his teammate Dan Shirley, and he is that is for third position. And again, these guys this time have kind of gapped out pretty quickly. But hey, I'm gonna cut back. I just saw this in the background. Josh Laston here. Battling with Brandon Bernhardt, and we see those two battling all the time in the TNT series. The top two guys in the TNT series right now, and they're battling it out here in the Sportsman Series. Definitely looks like at this point Brandon Bernhardt has the advantage. I thought Josh was going to be able to pass him, but not today. It seems, at least not this lap. Brandon Bernhardt is able to hold off Josh Laston. So we're going to cut back here to our leaders again because, I don't want to spend the entire time focusing on our leaders, but this is the closest battle on track right now. Almost all over the track, we've got 1 second leads already, or 1 second gaps, which is pretty wild for a race that's just gone green flag again. I have to think guys are being pretty conservative at this point, knowing this is going to be a longer run. And I would assume saw how their trucks behaved at the end of that first run, and they're just being a little bit more conservative because they don't want their trucks behaving like that again. So we'll see here, and I do see Josh Laston was able to get around Brandon Bernhardt, so he was faster, and we'll see if Josh is able to move through the field anymore. I know that he is someone that is fairly solidly into the chase, the round of 18, but this might be his best opportunity to win for the remainder of the season. So we'll have to see how hard he's going to push it tonight. But currently running 11th. He's got a long ways to go. How about Kevin Moeller here? Kevin Moeller under pressure right now from Teddy Weichel. That's one of those guys. I think possibly at the restart he was able to gain some positions, but currently Teddy Weichel trying to take that position back, and we see that's our leader. I am not sure what happened there, but that was our leader. Let's cut back and see what happened, because that happened very quickly. So Blake Gordon passed Justin Anderson. I completely missed that. Oh, he spun out. Oh, that was our leader. Let's take one more look at that. I'm going to try to switch to an in-car camera here, because that's a pretty big deal there. Go to our roll bar camera, and let's take one more look. Yeah, he just lost it. That's wow. And that's one more time. We'll take a look from Blake Gordon's perspective. Great job staying off of him there. That is a tough break right there for Justin Anderson. He has fallen back to 11th. That is going to be tough to overcome for a win here at a track that you aren't going to get full course caution. So, if he was going to have that happen, really needed to have happen, before the competition caution. So, really tough break for him, and but that's great for Blake Gordon. We've seen him be one of the best two drivers all night, but man, he's got some pressure right now from Dan Shirley. We have not seen Shirley put too much pressure on that top two yet tonight, but man, he is there right now, and looking strong, and Joe Dinsmore right there as well. But wow, what a crazy turn of events right there. I was not expecting that to happen, but here we are. Blake Gordon has our lead, and it wasn't from making a pass. It was Justin Anderson having issues, but also want to cut back here real fast to Blake Ziti, who's having a great run so far tonight, running in 4th. I was earlier talking about the TNT drivers, that top two of Brandon Bernhardt and Josh Laston. This has got to be the guy you put in third best in TNT right now. Won this past week at the Glen. Very solid road course racer, and good to see him having a good run here in the Sportsman Series as well. As I mentioned, running in 4th. And how about let's take a look here at Tony Pandon. He's currently up 3 spots in 7th position, and having a quiet night, which honestly for me at a road course, a quiet night is a really great night. So pretty good night so far for him. And just going through trying to find some people I haven't focused on yet. How about Derek Schilling? We've got a good little battle going on here with a few guys. Derek Schilling, David Naughton, Kevin Haas. I'll tell you what, I'm really digging Kevin Haas's scheme right now. That's actually, I don't know if I've noticed that before, but that is a Budweiser scheme, but also with some Dale Senior influences. I dig it. I dig that. That's a good-looking scheme right there. But back to our leader, Blake Gordon. Starting to pull away a little bit here. I'm going to pull up our lap times. You can see there that at least one of those laps I think was under caution, so that's not going to count. But Shirley was faster, for a little bit. But this last lap. Lap 18, and quite a bit faster. So let's see if we got any other good battles. How about Teddy Weichel here, who I've mentioned a few times. Teddy Weichel currently putting pressure on Kevin Moeller. Actually, as he's putting some pressure on here, let's switch to his roll bar camera. Take a look as he is trying to make this move. That should be a good camera shot here as we go past the hairpin of turn 2. We're going to leave it here for a little bit, let you guys see this track firsthand, and you know, see if he can continue to put pressure on that 72 of Kevin Moeller. You know, this turn right here is so treacherous because it is a blind corner. You really can't see, and you know, this one here as well. Like there are some blind corners here, which you know, if somebody gets in a wreck in one of them, it can cause issues because people will not see it. So thankfully we haven't had that yet tonight. We see again, you know, he's keeping the pressure on. Like, I mean, he's not right on his bumper the entire time, but he's not letting up either. I mean, he's right there on Kevin Moeller. As we see, Moeller gets a little bit loose exiting the corner there, but oh, I'm not sure if Moeller just pulled over and let him by or what. But yeah, here we go. Teddy Weichel takes over 5th. Kevin Moeller actually lost a few spots there, so I may have just had some issues. We'll see here as we finish up this full lap, entering turn 2, getting on those brakes hard and just going around that corner. It's a real slow turn and getting back on the gas, but that exit right there is crucial because it's such a long straightaway here. It's the longest straight on the course. You know, you turn a little bit to the right there, but you should be able to keep wide open there anyways. So essentially you can treat it as one long straightaway. So Teddy Weichel, as I mentioned, running in 5th. But right behind him, Tony Pandon, again, having a quiet night. Running in 6th position right now. We'll see if he has anything for Teddy Weichel here. But the guy we got to talk about right now has got to be Blake Gordon. You know, I think that it's really easy to say, well, he wouldn't be up there if Justin Anderson didn't make a mistake. But, you know, part of running, racing in general is not making mistakes. And so far tonight, Blake Gordon has been flawless. Really has had no issues. So, you know, but I'll tell you the truth. I mean, I would normally say, like, oh, Blake Gordon is definitely the favorite to win this race. But Dan Shirley and Joe Dinsmore are hanging out back there. I mean, this is not the kind of tight pairing you saw with Blake Gordon and Justin Anderson. But those guys are stalking right now. I mean, they are not out of the picture by any means. So we'll have to see here. I mean, I think they could potentially make some moves. As you know, we'll have to see how tire wear affects things, and trying to see how about we cut back to Kevin Moeller here again, who we were following behind earlier, had some sort of issue, lost a few positions, and is currently trying to fight back and take some of those positions back. Currently trying to get around Brian McFerrin. This is for 7th position. And how about we go ahead and take a look here at Josh Laston again. Josh has been in a lot of battles tonight. He is currently running in 11th and is trying to fight for 10th with William Queenbill. But he's going to have to get up closer and start putting the pressure on him if he actually wants to be able to either make a move or force him into a mistake. And we can see just ahead of them, Justin Anderson dominated the early part of this race and is currently running in 9th. He is 12 seconds back from the leader. So I'm not going to say impossible for him to win this race, but it would be very difficult for him at this point. Something pretty wild would have to happen, I would think. So back up to our leader, Blake Gordon. Actually going to cut back to a blimp view here so you guys can see what this gap is, because Dan Shirley has slowly but surely been starting to make up ground. This could be one of those situations where, oftentimes if I'm the leader, I'm going to do everything I can to try to maintain, not let that gap grow too large behind the person behind me, because, they could be conserving and they, come right around. Oh, and Blake Gordon pitting and Dan Shirley right behind him. So our leader, the pitting, Joe Dinsmore, is in. So a good thing that we had focused on him there, as these guys are coming in the pit, and it looks like just about everyone is coming in. Brian McFerrin, Kevin Moeller staying out right now. And I do think that once people start pitting, it's absolutely the right move to go ahead and just, everyone should come in at that point. The only exception to that may have been Justin Anderson. Potentially he may have wanted to stay out and run some laps without traffic around him, but I still think it's the right move to go ahead and come in, as we see Blake Gordon lost some spots there. Actually lost significant spots. So I'm not sure if, take a look at our pit times. I'm wondering if some guys did fuel only. No, it looks like he just had a very long pit stop. So not sure what happened to that. Not sure if he missed his stall or just wasn't positioned well, but 22-second stop for Blake Gordon compared to 14-second stops for just about everyone else. So there's the mistake that I said that Blake Gordon had not made all night. There it potentially is. That shakes things up, as we have Brian McFerrin and Kevin Moeller up front. Have not pitted yet. We'll see. They are not coming in this time either. So those two guys are up front. But you have to think, if they do have to pit, I'd imagine they do. Our leader will cycle through to Mr. Dan Shirley. So Blake Gordon has dropped to 6th, along with the guys that pitted with him. Ahead of him are Dan Shirley, Joe Dinsmore, and his teammate Blake Ziti. So big shakeup there with that lead group. You see here Blake Gordon right behind his teammate. I have to imagine he's on the radio with Ziti, very politely asking him to get out of the way. He spent a lot of pressure there on Ziti, because Gordon realizes he's got to get back up front if he's got to do it quickly if he wants to have a shot at this. Honestly, didn't lose too much ground. We see Joe Dinsmore there. Blake Gordon's currently about 4 seconds back from Dan Shirley. So could potentially make that up due to the small number of cars in between them. So we'll have to see. But I mean, Dan Shirley was right there with him. Even before they came in the pit. So I don't think Shirley is significantly slower or anything, as Brian McFerrin comes into the pits, and that's going to leave Mr. Kevin Moeller out there by himself in the lead. Kevin Moeller leading a lap here. We'll have to see if he is going to come into the pits next time around. And I'm also curious if Brian McFerrin is going to lose any positions due to staying out longer. He was, I think, running roughly in 7th place. Maybe a little bit further back. I feel like he is dropping back to 9th, coming out of the pits, and it's looking like Brian McFerrin is going to come out in 9th here, just behind Justin Anderson. He does have some fresher tires here, though, a couple laps fresher, so we'll see if that'll make a difference, but going to focus here for a little bit on Kevin Moeller, let him have his moment in the spotlight as he's leading this race, and we'll see if he is going to come in the pit this time around. I mean, I'm not sure if there's much point in waiting much longer. You know, other than the fact that, you know, you kind of have clean track around you. You're not really racing guys right now, which is nice. And when you do start racing them again, you'll have fresher tires than they do. And he's staying out again. I don't think it's a bad call. I mean, why not? You know, it's not like he was, you know, running up front anyways. This is not really a getting every little point you can. So, yeah, why not? Try something different. I love it. We'll see how it plays out for him. So we see the difference there. Not a huge gap, honestly. I mean, Dan Shirley's currently only. Well, hold on. What is that gap between them? Dan Shirley about 12 seconds back. Not a massive gap considering Shirley's already pitted. And I would imagine I'm watching here that gap is shrinking. We're at about 12.5, 12.4, 12.3. It's shrinking in a hurry right now. Dan Shirley making up ground on our leader, Kevin Moeller. And I have to wonder, perhaps Moeller's thinking, I'll stay out, about till the leader catches me, and then I'll pit, and sure, why not? Nothing to lose at this point. I always admire someone trying something different, even if it's, and here he comes a pit, but even if it's not necessarily a on paper good strategy, like just trying something, 'cause you never know what's going to work, and so yeah, I appreciate him trying something. He will have fresher tires here when he comes back out, so we'll see if he can do anything with that. But our new leader, Dan Shirley, a guy that we know is good at road course racing. I can remember a few months ago calling the race at COTA that he was leading, led most of that race before having a late issue, and unfortunately handing it over. So he's a great road course racer. I've seen him, run at all different types of road courses and had great success. And that's not to count out his teammate either, Joe Dinsmore, running behind him. Lots of really good road course racers. But I have to apologize, folks. I must have missed something because Blake Gordon towed to the pits. So let's. I'm gonna see if I can find out what happened here. We're gonna cut to a replay. We see Blake Zede. Oh, Blake Gordon. Wow. That's. I can't imagine that was. I imagine there were some very choice words over the radio for that. But I want to take a good look at that. So it looks like Zede had a little bit of trouble, but wow, that was, man, he hammered him there. So Zede, Gordon tows, Zede with major issues, but being a road course might be all right. We'll see what happens for him. A tough break for him. He was having a really great run tonight. But that's how it goes. Sometimes you get wrecked by your teammate, and Josh Laston knows all about that. So, rough night so far for Endeavor Racing. Blake Gordon with issues. Blake Zede with issues. John Gordon with issues. Brandon Bernhardt is still running, actually running behind. Actually, I'm sorry, we're not live here. Let's come back live. Got to come back live after that replay, but Brandon Bernhardt running just ahead of his teammate John Gordon. So those guys are still relatively damage-free. So but still not a great night for Endeavor Racing. So I would have to say, I mean, at this point, Justin Anderson has worked himself back to 5th. But otherwise, I have to be thinking this is Dan Shirley's race to lose. Has a almost 4-second lead over his teammate Joe Dinsmore. Now, what I was saying before, we had all those issues happen, and before the green flag pit stops. Dan Shirley here is going to want to maintain that gap a little bit. Like he's not going to want to pull away. He actually might want to let it shrink a little bit because, even if Joe Dinsmore can get right behind him, he's going to have to pass him. And you want to make sure that your tires are at least equal to the guy trying to pass you. So the last thing you want to do is try to build up a huge gap, 5-6 seconds. And the guy behind you has been conserving the entire time and catches up with you and is easily able to pass you. So it's all about maintenance and just being patient. And having raced with Dan Shirley for a while now, I don't think that'll be a problem for him. Take a look here at Teddy Weichel running in 3rd, having a really solid race. Currently 3 seconds back from Mr. Joe Dinsmore. But, honestly, just a guy who's had a very quiet race. And honestly, speaking of quiet races, how about Tony Pandon right here, who I've mentioned multiple times having a quiet race. That truck looks flawless right now. Like, there is not a scratch on that thing. He has had no issues tonight. Just, a good, clean race. Guy who has had issues right behind him, Justin Anderson. We saw after that competition caution, he had spun entering turn 1. He's fought back though. He's running in 5th. Take a look at our lap times here. Justin Anderson's faster than anyone on the track right now, with the exception of Blake Gordon, who just pitted. But I'm not going to count Justin Anderson out at this point. We're getting close to the end of this race, but I don't think he'll be able to chase down Dan Shirley. It's a 12-second gap, but honestly, it just takes, as we've seen already, it just takes a small mistake like that. That's unfortunate. That right there, what you're seeing is a driver giving it everything, like pushing it as hard as they can. We see even there he locks him up a little bit. Everything he's got right now, he's putting it all out there. He understands, the value. Look, even if we look outside the chase, I'm not going to talk about the chase. We're going to bypass the chase for a second. Just winning a race feels good. Your competitors out there. So, yeah, Justin Anderson wants to win this race. Blake Gordon wants to win this race. Even someone like, look, Teddy Weichel, who has nothing to do with the chase at all. This is a guy who wants to go out and win the race, I would imagine. You want to win. So, yeah, Justin Anderson was pushing it. Made another mistake there, but we'll see. Guys up front may have some big issues. Not looking that way right now, though. Dan Shirley has maintained that gap there. Honestly, it looks like he's just out for a Sunday drive right now. He's smooth and not having issues, and you can see. You look at where the rubber's laid down the track, those kind of black marks. He's just driving around right inside of it. He is having no issues right now putting that truck wherever he wants. But right behind him, Joe Dinsmore, almost mirroring what's happening for our leader. But at this point, when you have a 3.5 second deficit, mirroring isn't enough. So as our laps wind down here, or more accurately, as our time winds down, as this is a timed race, is Dinsmore going to try something here? Is he potentially get something left in the tank to try to push it and take a win here, steal a win away from his teammate? I want to shoot back here to Blake Ziti again. Again, had all of those issues, with that incident with his teammate, and truck is looking really beat up, but is honestly showing you his speed right now. I mean, I was talking at the first part of the broadcast about how good Josh Laston is at road courses. And for the longest time, I probably would have said Josh Laston was the king of road courses in the TNT series. That title might belong to Blake Zede now. Zede is absolutely incredible at road courses, and we're seeing that talent right now. I think he needs to win another road course race before I say that he's the king of TNT road courses, because I would imagine Josh Laston is going to be fuming when he hears me say that. But Zede has really impressed me, especially the past few races in TNT, and in every road course I've seen him run in AOLL and also the Fuel Series. I mean, he is a very good road course racer. So he's fighting here for 8th position, trying to salvage what he can for the night. William Klingbeil, who I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, was kind of dominating for a long time in the fun race we ran here last week. Not having as good a luck tonight, running in 10th, but has had a quiet night. And actually, I want to cut back to Blake Zede real quick. So we saw he was trying to make a move on Josh Laston there. It had some issues, and I want to take a look, see what happened. He just I think he was just trying to outbrake Josh potentially there, and just had some issues. And actually, I think he just had another issue. So rough night for Zede, and hopefully he'll be able to bounce back in the coming races. But again, we haven't had a lot of excitement racing for the lead. This could be... that was the 96 car of David Naughton having some issues right in front of our leader, and I'm sure Daniel Shirley was having a small panic attack there, but no incident. We're still driving cleanly here, and we'll I want to talk about points. This is a race that Dan Shirley does not need to win. I mean, he's in solidly on points, but currently has 3 wins, and as I mentioned, the chase format is bonus points going to race winners. So his 3 wins, that's pretty good, but his teammate Justin Anderson has 6. Blake Gordon has 11. So you want to try to get everything you can, so you'll be able to potentially compete in the chase once that gets going next week. And I'm looking for battles, but I'm also looking to see if there's anybody through here I haven't really talked about tonight, good or bad. Let's look at Teddy Weichel. Actually, I'm sorry. Let's actually cut back to Josh Laston. Maybe the closest battle on track. It was a little bit closer a second ago, and he's starting to narrow that gap again with Brian McFerrin. This is for 7th position. He's gaining quite a bit there. I mean, when we first switched over, he was about a second behind, about a half second now. So we'll see. And the checkered is out. I never even saw the white flag. That's bizarre. So our race is over. I'm looking back through the log. At least according to my log here, the white flag never came out. So checker flag's out. Sorry, folks. Dan Shirley is our winner. Getting a little love there from his teammate. What a great run tonight by Dan Shirley. Let's go ahead and run through our results so that we can bring our top 3 up. Oh, results have not posted yet. We'll have to give it a second here. I think everyone's going to have to cross the finish line before it will let me pull up the results. Well, I'll go ahead and read them, start reading them off, and we'll display them when we can. In first, Dan Shirley, and in second, Joe Dinsmore. In third, we have Teddy Weichel, and in fourth, Tony Pandon. There we go. In fifth, Justin Anderson, recovering from that early issue. And in sixth, Kevin Moeller. Seventh is Brian McFerrin, and in eighth, Josh Laston. Ninth is Blake Zeedy, and in 10th, William Klingbeil. 11th, Kevin Haas, and in 12th, David Naughton. 13th is Brandon Bernhardt, and in 14th, John Gordon. 15th, Blake Gordon, and in 16th, David DeParis. 17th is Derek Schilling, and in 18th, Mike Burgess. And finally, in 19th, I'm not sure if he actually ran tonight, Timothy St. Jean. All right, well, let's go ahead and bring up our race winner. Hey, Daniel, it's Carl in the booth. You got a copy?
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Hey, man. Great win for you tonight. But honestly, it was a pretty crazy race. At about the midway point, shortly after that competition caution, did you think you really had a chance of winning this race?
No, I mean, clearly Blake and Justin and Blake had the pace there, and then Joe was all over me. So I was just kind of riding. With these road courses, you just keep it between the lines and see what happens. And this is one of those days that it turned out well. I'm not sure what happened to Blake. He seemed to have a problem with that green flag pit stop. But, just kept it pointed in this right direction. Get P1. It's a nice way to close out the season, regular season.
Yeah, and on that topic, I mean, I was talking during the broadcast about how, with the format that we run for the chase, how important wins are. This brings you up to 4 wins on the season, so that'll be some bonus points for you there. Congratulations. I wanted to ask, do you have a particular strategy going into the chase? Are you going to be going for wins, or are you going to be just sort of trying to point your way to the next round?
Probably for a driver like me, it's really the latter. I definitely know that I don't always have the fastest pace. So, I have to look to exploit certain situations to get these wins just like tonight. Probably just try to come in with some good strategies, maybe go alternate to some people if this chance presents itself for pit strategy. But I'll probably just try to stay consistent with it and go from round to round. And I think for me, that's the best strategy.
So I have to ask, we start out the chase at 5 Flags, which I think I've run in once, and I've never run it in something like the trucks. How do you feel about that track? Have you run there before?
I have. In former years, I used to run a lot of super late model races, so of course that was a pretty popular stop for that series. It's a tight little track, and it's going to be an interesting round 1 of the cut down portion of the season. So hopefully everyone keeps their nerves, and we have some good bumper to bumper racing. Other than that, how short tracks can get.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, the truck field's been much smaller the past few weeks. Back when we were getting 30-car fields, it might have been a little treacherous, but we'll have to see who all turns out. But hey, man, again, congratulations. Good talking with you tonight, and hopefully we'll talk to you again next week.
Yeah, definitely. It's good to be back in the booth. So thanks for, were you running solo tonight on the broadcast?
I was. Wednesday nights are my solo night.
Well, hopefully there's some action out there aside from what happened up front to be able to show the audience. So
yeah, it was.
Appreciate it, Carl.
Yep. Thank you, buddy. All right, and that was our winner, Dan Shirley. Let's bring up our second place, Joe Dinsmore. Hey, Joe, it's Carl in the booth. Get a copy?
Got a copy.
Hey man, I feel like you had a pretty quiet race tonight. You were, always in. I think the entire race in the top five. But kept it clean, and I think that's what enabled you to gain some positions there by not having mistakes like Justin and Blake. But I have to ask you, at the end there, you had a pretty sizable gap between you and your teammate, Dan Shirley. Were you trying anything in car to try to catch him?
Yeah. I closed the gap from. I don't know what happened. He got a heck of a pit stop over me for whatever reason, and when we pulled out, we had like a 8-second gap, give or take. And yeah, I closed it. I mean, I did as much as I could. I mean, I had the pace on Daniel through the technical section, which is I didn't expect that, to be truthful. He had me on that where all of the long stretches were, where the high speed, where the exits were, and you wound up the truck. But through those technical sections, I was eating through his time, and yeah, just ran out of time. I mean, I got as close as I could. I didn't give him any breaks. He was sweating bullets. Trust me, that was coming.
Well, and I mean, I have to ask. This is the same question I asked him during his interview. We're going into the first round of the chase here next week, and I'm curious. Do you have a specific strategy that you're going to be trying to go for? Are you going to be going for wins, or are you going to be trying to point to the next round, or what?
I'm going to try to win every single race of the chase. That's my strategy.
That is an optimistic strategy. Honestly, you're sounding like Nick Adams right now. That's one way to guarantee that you're going to make it to the next round, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at the last 4 or 5 weeks, the way I've been running with these trucks, I could solidly say that I'll be up there for the contention every week.
Well, and as you mentioned, we've seen it over and over in the Truck Series, and also recently in the Cup Series as well. It seems like you've really regained a lot of pace. It's been a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I've been, like I said, I mean, I say it every broadcast, but I've been trying to get that the mixture between my long run speeds without losing my long run speeds and gaining a little bit of my speed and on the short runs, because a lot of these people, they have killer short runs, and that I need to get heat in the tires for me to get moving, so I've been working on that, and I think starting to see some of that effort every weekend. I work on that, and I think we're starting to see a little bit of that effort come to light with the contentions that I've been putting up for the wins and the wins that I've been getting.
Yeah, we certainly have. Well, hey, good second place finish for you tonight, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Appreciate the broadcast, and you have a great night.
All right, thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
All right, well, that will wrap up our broadcast for the evening. Real fast, I want to talk about the other action we've got going on the Ghostfire Media Network over the next week. Tomorrow night at 8 p.m., we have the AOLL TNT Series at New Hampshire. Friday, 8 p.m., the Ghostfire Media Podcast, where you'll see all of your Ghostfire Media crew members, maybe a subset of them, talking about the happenings of the week. We'll have some guests on. We'll have a lot of fun. A few drinks will be consumed. Can't wait for it. Sunday, 8 p.m., we have the AOL Cup Series at Bristol. That is the final race of the round of 16 for their chase. Monday at 9 p.m., we have the Jeff Hill Trailer Sales Fuel Premier Series at the Red Bull Ring. Tuesday at 8 p.m., we have the IVRL Butt Kicker Series. They will be at Las Vegas, first of the round of 12 for their playoffs. And Wednesday night at 8 p.m., 1 week from today, I'll be back here for the AOLL Sportsman Series at Five Flags, which will be the start of our chase. Can't wait for it. So, on behalf of the entire Ghostfire Media crew, I'm Carl Henderson. So long, and thanks for watching.